January 8th, 1990, 6:18 a.m., Setagaya, Tokyo, Japan. Cold winter light slips through thin apartment curtains before your alarm clock begins its familiar electronic chime. You sit upright on a neatly folded futon inside a compact room arranged with disciplined simplicity. A pressed white shirt hangs beside a dark navy business suit prepared the previous evening. Steam curls from a small kettle resting on a narrow kitchen stove. The morning newspaper waits beside your apartment door with fresh financial headlines. Your polished leather shoes reflect the pale sunrise entering the quiet hallway. A modest breakfast of grilled fish, rice, and miso soup fills the small dining table. You fasten a conservative striped tie with practiced precision before the hallway mirror. A worn leather briefcase feels comfortably familiar in your right hand. The apartment building echoes with synchronized footsteps as neighbors leave for work. Your breath becomes visible in the crisp January air outside. Rows of compact bicycles remain perfectly parked beside the residential street. Small neighborhood shops slowly lift their metal shutters for another business day. Bright vending machines glow against the cold morning like dependable street lanterns. You join an orderly stream of commuters walking silently toward the railway station. Uniformed students pass beside you carrying identical black school bags. Fresh convenience stores display neatly stacked rice balls beneath bright fluorescent lights. The station entrance swallows thousands of commuters without visible disorder. Electronic departure boards flash perfectly timed train schedules across crowded platforms. A station attendant gently guides waiting passengers behind safety lines. The arriving train releases a wave of warm air as its doors slide open. You squeeze into the crowded carriage surrounded by identical dark business suits. Advertising posters above the windows promise new electronics and luxury apartments. Nearly every passenger quietly reads newspapers or closes tired eyes. The train glides past endless neighborhoods packed with tightly arranged rooftops. Concrete office towers gradually replace quiet residential streets outside the windows. You step onto a platform already flowing like a disciplined river of workers. Underground passageways carry endless footsteps beneath towering commercial buildings. Escalators lift thousands of employees toward another carefully scheduled morning. The polished entrance of your company's headquarters reflects the growing sunrise. A security guard acknowledges your arrival with a respectful nod as you enter. Your employee identification card unlocks the polished glass access gate. Rows of identical desks stretch across an enormous open office floor. Green computer terminals glow softly beneath long fluorescent ceiling lights. Towering filing cabinets hold decades of carefully organized company records. Every desk displays identical telephones, calendars, and sharpened pencils. Senior managers arrive wearing nearly indistinguishable charcoal business suits. You bow respectfully before taking your assigned seat. Fresh documents already wait in perfectly aligned stacks upon your desk. The office clock quietly marks the official beginning of another workday. Typewriters produce a steady mechanical rhythm across the department. Fax machines continuously deliver curling pages filled with contracts and reports. A large wall calendar highlights approaching quarterly business deadlines. You carefully stamp incoming paperwork using bright red corporate seals. Colleagues move between departments carrying thick binders beneath folded arms. Large windows overlook Tokyo's expanding skyline filled with construction cranes. Tokyo's economic confidence seems visible in every rising skyscraper. Telephones ring briefly before disciplined voices answer without hesitation. You organize financial spreadsheets with meticulous attention to every printed number. Morning sunlight slowly fades behind gathering clouds over central Tokyo. You carry a stack of financial reports toward the conference room before the afternoon meeting begins. A polished mahogany table fills the center of the room beneath bright fluorescent lighting. Senior executives study printed sales charts displayed across the conference table. Your notebook gradually fills with careful handwritten observations from the lengthy discussion. A large whiteboard becomes crowded with ambitious expansion targets across international markets. Fresh pots of green tea quietly replace empty porcelain cups between presentations. Company leaders praise relentless growth despite subtle signs of slowing demand. The afternoon skyline disappears behind thick gray clouds gathering beyond the office windows. You return to your desk where another mountain of paperwork patiently awaits completion. A calculator clicks steadily beneath your fingertips while balancing quarterly expenses. Rows of fluorescent lights continue glowing although daylight is nearly vanished outside. Cleaning staff quietly polish empty hallways while employees remain at their desks. The office gradually falls into an exhausted silence broken only by printers and keyboards. A wall clock passes 7 in the evening without anyone preparing to leave. Your shoulders stiffen beneath the weight of another 12-hour workday. The department manager slowly walks between desks inspecting everyone's remaining workload. You carefully review another contract illuminated by a small desk lamp. Outside, neon advertisements transform Tokyo into a sea of electric color. Rain begins falling softly across the crowded streets below the office tower. Tiny umbrellas bloom across busy intersections like moving flowers. The final report slides neatly into a labeled company archive box. You switch off your computer terminal after completing the day's assignments. The nearly empty elevator descends through dozens of quiet office floors. Cold evening air greets you outside the tower in corporate headquarters. Bright pachinko parlors spill colorful lights onto rain-soaked sidewalks. Packed izakayas overflow with salarymen loosening their ties after work. Steam rises from bowls of ramen served behind fogged restaurant windows. You quietly eat dinner alone beneath warm yellow lantern light. A television above the counter reports another record high in Japan's financial markets. The confident news anchor speaks beside soaring stock market graphs. You step back into the rainy streets carrying your folded umbrella. Late-night trains remained crowded despite the approaching midnight hour. Passengers sway together beneath rows of hanging hand straps. Reflections of neon signs shimmer across the wet train windows. You silently remove your tie while staring into the passing darkness outside. Residential stations gradually replace the glowing business districts of central Tokyo. The familiar neighborhood appears calmer beneath gentle streetlights and steady rainfall. A convenience store cashier quietly arranges fresh magazines near the entrance. You unlock the apartment door where complete silence immediately surrounds you. Your damp business shoes rest neatly beside the entrance mat. A small portable television softly illuminates the otherwise dark apartment. The evening news celebrates another wave of corporate expansion across the country. Financial magazines predict Japan's prosperity will continue far into the future. You carefully iron tomorrow's white dress shirt before going to sleep. The alarm clock is reset to ring before sunrise once again. Outside, rainwater slowly drips from balcony railings into the quiet street below. Your briefcase waits beside the apartment door, exactly where tomorrow's routine will begin. The city never truly sleeps beyond your apartment window. You close your eyes as distant commuter trains continue rolling through the Tokyo night. January sunlight returns beneath a pale winter sky as another identical workday quietly begins. Your alarm sounds before dawn with the same unwavering electronic precision. Fresh steam rises from another simple breakfast prepared without unnecessary haste. The morning newspaper features soaring property prices beside optimistic economic forecasts. You button a freshly pressed white shirt that feels almost indistinguishable from yesterday's. The apartment hallway fills once again with synchronized footsteps leaving for nearby stations. Frozen bicycle seats sparkle beneath a thin layer of overnight frost. Commuters gather patiently beneath glowing station clocks without breaking orderly lines. Another packed train absorbs thousands of dark overcoats and polished briefcases. You grip an overhead strap while apartment towers blur into office districts. Colorful advertisements promote luxury watches, imported cars, and premium investment funds. Construction cranes continue reshaping Tokyo's skyline into symbols of endless confidence. The company entrance welcomes another tide of disciplined employees before 8 o'clock. Rows of polished shoes disappear beneath perfectly aligned office desks. Your inbox already overflows with new documents awaiting careful attention. Fresh contracts arrive through the fax machine faster than completed reports leave your desk. Senior supervisors move briskly between departments carrying thick planning folders. A framed corporate philosophy hangs prominently above the office entrance. Everyone bows respectfully before another morning briefing officially begins. A large projector displays ambitious sales targets for the coming fiscal year. Bright charts predict continued expansion across Europe and North America. You quietly record every instruction inside a neatly organized notebook. Coffee gradually replaces green tea as the workload intensifies through late morning. Office telephones ring almost continuously across the accounting department. Stacks of invoices rise higher than the edge of your desktop. Your mechanical calculator works relentlessly beside organized piles of financial statements. Outside, another office tower climbs several floors higher behind protective scaffolding. Helicopters occasionally circle above booming construction sites throughout central Tokyo. The lunchtime streets overflow with identical business suits moving between restaurants. You carry a boxed lunch to a nearby public park surrounded by bare winter trees. Office workers quietly occupy every available bench beneath the cold afternoon sun. A businessman nearby studies stock prices printed in the latest financial newspaper. Children in bright uniforms briefly cross the park before disappearing behind apartment buildings. You finish lunch while watching commuter trains glide across elevated railway tracks. Back inside the office, fresh document boxes wait beside your chair. The afternoon disappears beneath endless paperwork, signatures, and official company seals. Wall calendars slowly approach the end of another demanding business month. Your reflection appears faintly in the darkening office windows before sunset. One executive quietly celebrates another profitable quarter with restrained satisfaction. The department applauds politely before immediately returning to work. Printers continuously produce thick reports destined for tomorrow's executive meeting. The office air grows warmer beneath constant fluorescent lighting. Outside, illuminated billboards awaken as daylight quietly fades away. Tokyo's evening skyline glitters with remarkable confidence and unstoppable ambition. You organize tomorrow's presentation materials into perfectly labeled folders. Your wristwatch quietly passes 9 in the evening without attracting anyone's attention. The office gradually empties one disciplined employee at a time. You stand alone beside the window, overlooking millions of city lights stretching towards the horizon. Far below, an endless river of headlights flows through Tokyo's glittering streets. The endless sea of illuminated office windows quietly mirrors the routine waiting for you tomorrow morning.